and welcome to Minecraft 1.12 Snapshots. We are catching up with all the fun stuff that they are putting into our snapshots for the 1.12 World of Color update. And this is 17W15A is where we're currently at. So we're a few weeks in, they've given us a few snapshots now, and we have a lot of pretty colors. They're expanding what we have for our color base here for our rainbow. So we're going to go over a few things. Some of them you probably have already played with if you do like to play in the snapshots on a regular basis, but some of them they just added, like our beds. We now have our beautiful beds that we can have in whichever color we want. So if you're tired of that plain old red bed that you have on everything or having to use wool blocks to make it look like a colored bed, you can now actually create your dyed bed. So you can either craft it with the colored wool, or you can make a bunch of white beds and then just dye the white beds whenever you decide which colors you would like to create. So those, of course, come in the standard 16 colors. We're going to go over a few of these other things, though, that we have indeed missed really having in a snapshot video from me. So we're going to go through some of these really cool blocks that we get to have. The first would be the concrete, and we have concrete powder that is crafted via sand and gravel. And luckily they made it so that you don't have to remember which one goes where. You just have to remember that it's checkerboards basically. And you do need to pick which color you're going to make it. So it won't have an undyed color. You will actually need to color it from the beginning. So you sand and gravel checkerboarded around whichever dye color you want, and that'll create 8 of your concrete powder. So again, you can do that whichever way, flip-flopping that sand and gravel. So this gives me a huge incentive, of course, to finally collect all that gravel. I really wasn't using it much, or I would use it to just fill in lava pits, that sort of thing before, and now, and it would be the first thing I would toss out when I was getting full of my inventory. Now I'm just like, give me all the gravel. So that is here. We have our concrete powder, and then of course to make concrete you have to actually just add water. So what we do is we set it next to water or get water on it to make it a solid concrete block. Now, I'm sure there will be all sorts of automated things set up, like people who like to set things up on in their farms or in their vaults or wherever they like to do things like that. We'll probably have some cool setups. This is just a super quick thing to show that, if you just lay out, I'm sure people would have a nice square or something, lay out all your concrete powder and then just flip a switch with your water dispenser to get all of that converted straight over to your concrete. And of course I flipped it an extra time. There we go. So now I have all this nice solid concrete, and I can actually mine that right up and have all those blocks. Of course, with this, since it's made from sand and gravel, it is actually a gravity block. It does fall. So you could also, set up some falling areas if you just wanted them to fall into some body of water, that kind of thing. But you will just have to go ahead and mine those back up again to gather. So we'll just leave that there though. All right, so that's the concrete powder. Super fun that we get to have that. I love that the solid concrete blocks are true to the color versus our clay, which I have loved these. I really do love the mesas and the look of the mesas, but using all that hardened clay, trying to use it in pixel arts, trying to use it for building things, making buildings that are a specific color, it's been difficult since they are always that reddish tinge. So our blue is actually going to be blue now instead of purple. And our purple will be very purple. So it's really nice to have those true to the color hard blocks that we can now use. Next, we just have to hope and pray that Mojang will actually give us some slabs or stairs or something of that sort in colors. So that's out to you, Mojang. So, of course, I do love to still use the hardened clay and pixel arts when I need to skin tone that white Makes a very good skin tone. Anyway, so we are going to be going over next our glazed terracotta. And this is really, really cool the way they've done it. Obviously, I'm already using that pink or magenta. Yes, the magenta arrow because it is such a nice little arrow block. Um, but what we can do, all you have to do now is all of our hardened clay that is stained hardened clay, you pop it into a furnace and off it goes and becomes stained or glazed terracotta. So if we have some actual fuel here, I mean, it's so simple. It's like, okay, well, even if you decide you're no longer going to use as much hardened clay because you have all the concrete now, you can make it into glazed terracotta and it's so cool and pretty. And of course, that comes in all the colors and it has just coordinating fun little patterns on it. It's so fun. It gives me so many ideas now of, oh, you know what? Yeah, that color really does match really well with this other color that I wouldn't have paired it normally. And of course, with the different patterns, you can make all sorts of different patterns from. And I had just a little fun over here. These are not all the potential combinations. Of course, there are so many combinations you can make from these varying patterns because they are directionally placed. It is difficult to get them vertically placed in different directions, but doing it on the ground, on the floor, on the ground, whatever you're going to do, map it out with. It's so cool. So this is just basically just straight across me placing it all the same direction, kind of a deal, and then going in rounds, different directions, and it's just all sorts of fun stuff. So you can have a ton of fun, and you can probably even mix and match the different colors to coordinate different tile patterns and stuff like that. And it's going to be so much fun to decorate with these new things for paths and for flooring in builds and all sorts of really, really cool stuff. And then of course those arrows. I mean, you're gonna have it makes me think of the labyrinth where she was like making arrows on her with her lipstick on some tiles and then they get all shifted around. So it's like yes, you can use directional arrows now in the ground. So it'll be cool. Yes, so lots to play with. Lots and lots and lots and lots to play with. Some of these patterns really remind me of my dad's old ties from like the 70s, though, like the yellows and browns. Hello, Paisley. All right, so next we will move on. I did just place everybody here, my llamas that have the carpets on them and my sheep and stuff, because they did slightly retexture and recolor things. The banners and wool and sheep are all a little bit brighter in some of these colors, like the orange, the cyan and light blue. It's all just slightly different. So if you were using those for because it was a particular look before and you update and then you go back and go, oh, that's a little bit different than what I remember. Well, they did actually shift the colors a little to the more brighter spectrum, it looks like. And I do have our shulker boxes in here as well, and they're a little more toned down because they didn't seem to actually color shift quite as much as the rest. But yes, lots of fun. Paintings now give us the ability to place the largest possible. It will give us the largest possible one for this space given. So it's great because instead of trying so hard and you keep just getting a single little tiny painting over and over and over again, it will actually give us the largest possible for the space given. So now, of course, that does mean that if you want a small painting on your wall, you're going to have to block off the space. Like say, okay, I only want a 2 by 2, so I'm going to have to block it up to make sure it only gives me the 2 by 2s until I find the one that I want. So you do have to work with it a bit to figure out how to get the painting exactly the way you want it. But at least then you do get the big ones. It's not so hard to rotate through to the giant paintings anymore. So it's great. Now I have this guy over here because we have, instead of our achievements that we used to have, we now have advancements. And they have separated these out, Minecraft advancements and adventure advancements. In my opinion, the adventure advancements seem to be a little more of an actual achievement in some ways, where these are a little more difficult to get through. You have to actually work for them. They are still a little bit of a tutorial style, but some of them are difficult. Like I said, is the sniper duel. That's definitely one that was definitely an actual achievement before, where you've got to be able to hit that skeleton from more than 50 meters away, 50 blocks away. Adventuring time, discovering every biome. You're going to have to adventure out of your comfort zone to go do that. We are going to have more along some of these lines. I just haven't expanded this out much on my test map yet, but these I think are more actual achievements, which will be great. And then we have separated out. This is basically your tutorial line where, okay, let's get all these things checked off. This is how you play Minecraft. And we're able to see how those finish off. We can, like this one we have here, I just made a weakness potion. So it had me brewing and stuff, and then it had me making an actual weakness potion, which I did. And then the next one would be to actually cure a zombie villager. So it gives you this kind of stuff that it didn't have before, which is really cool. So we splash him, and then we cure him. And what's really cool is it now has a tag in the coding that'll actually say who is curing this zombie villager, which is really cool. So we'll just let him sit and cure for a bit. All right, and there we go. He just converted. So we just got a little pop-up. I don't know if you saw up there in the right-hand corner, but our advancement slid off from the right corner, and then there we go. Cure a zombie villager is done. Zombie doctor. And it looks like these little finished ones seem to have a little bit of a different appearance to them, so I wonder if there's going to be more past this one eventually. Anyway, so that achievement, that advancement is done. And you know, I love how it shows a little more of, you can tell which ones are completed and which ones aren't, and it has a little bit of that little path through there now. And it's not a huge page that you have to map yourself around. All right, so he is cured, and I've got my George. And I could even make my next. I could even get this. And if you watch that upper right corner, you can see all the sorts of things pop up there now. What a deal! Advancement made. Sweet. All right, and then we also have, as you kind of saw as I picked up some paper and stuff, that you have new recipes unlocked. Check your recipe book. So as you get new items in the game, you're able to unlock recipes and do more things. It actually has on every crafting table now your recipe book. And you can turn that on and off. You can leave it open, which is really cool because if you have one crafting table that like a bunch of your kids use or whichever, or you just like it turned off, you can actually leave it open or closed, which is really nice. And it will actually tell you what you can craft, and it will have highlighted with a white border or a gray border which ones you have all the items for that you can craft at the time. We got 2 pages worth of things that I've learned how to craft. Showing craftable. There we go. Those are things I can craft right now because I happen to have sugarcane on me. Ooh. So if I did that, how about that? Huh? Look at that. Now I can do that. So you basically have to unlock a bunch of the crafting recipes. You can even create a game rule. There's a game rule now where you can make it limited. The crafting can be limited to which recipes you have already unlocked. So that would make it so that people cannot actually craft things unless they unlock the recipe for those. So that could be one way to set up specific adventure maps and stuff like that, to where you want people to go through in a specific order to be able to do things in their play. All right, and a minor addition as well is that magma blocks now can infinitely burn, as well as the netherrack. So before you would light them and they would eventually go out like many other blocks would, but now they actually can stay infinitely lit, just like the netherrack. So that's a little minor thing. Alright, so on to our lovely parrots. I actually had a flock that I had tamed, and I was over here trying to create all these glazed terracotta placings, and they just kept getting in the way. So it was in a couple snapshots ago, before they actually allowed the parrots to have a sit posture. So these are all untamed ones, because I kept trying to cage my tamed ones, and they would just teleport right out of the cage and follow me around. So it was really funny. But these are all 5 colors, and we're actually going to head over to our jungle and go take a look. Alright, so this is the jungle that I found, and I really actually, I tweeted Mojang because it would be so nice in our locate feature to be able to locate a specific biome. I guess we're just getting a little spoiled, and I just want more. Because it's so nice now to be able to use the locate command to find the structures in the game, that it would be so nice to be able to find these specific biomes when you need a specific biome for certain spawns, or something, certain blocks, to be able to find those, so that when you're building a map or you have a server and you're trying to find it for your people on the server, to go /locate mushroom biome or /locate jungle or something of that sort, where it would be so much easier instead of having to search or try and find an updated third-party seed mapping system or something. Anyway, I'm just putting that out there again. Mojang, we love you. So these are my tamed little buddies. And luckily now we are able to let them sit with right click. So if I let him stand up and I hold shift now and go towards him. Come on, little buddy. There we go. He's on my shoulder. Yay, parrots. They're so cool. And of course, you do tame them with... Oh, here, let me jump and he will hop off. So that's fun. You tame them with chocolate chip cookies. It's so cute. So if I come down here to all these guys that have decided to flit off my platform, they're like, hey. See, there's a little black smoke. It says, I'm not tame yet. Hey, come here. I'm trying to give you cookies. There he is. Yeah. Oh, grass is in the way. There we go. Okay, I think he can sit. Let's see. Whoa. Whee! There we go. So he was flying around me, and I held shift, and he landed on my shoulder. Yay! Matching Wonder Woman parrot! Woohoo! Alright. But as soon as I jump, he's going to be off again. Yeah. They are supposed to be able to hold onto your shoulder when you're in elytra flight, so I'm not quite sure how that works if you're falling, jumping off of something to use your elytra. I haven't actually tried that yet. But another really fun thing with these guys, which is why I have the jukebox over here, is people just discovered the Easter egg in the last snapshot, where if you toss in a music disc with your tamed parrots sitting nearby. Oh, it's so cute. Watch this. Now, you can't actually use this one. Oh, no, you can. It wasn't working before. So even though this is a creepy, scary, sound effectsy one, they're still gonna dance to it. That's so funny. Alright, but we put in some real music here. There we go. Dance, parrots, dance. Oh, yeah. It's so cute. Bump you over there a little closer. So they don't dance as much when they're farther away. Sometimes they stop. Sometimes they will do it. But the closer they are to the actual jukebox, the more they're actually going to wiggle and dance and get down. Yeah, let's get down tonight. It's so adorable. Alrighty, so those are fun parrots, and they will teleport with you. So if I get them in flight, I'm going to leave that guy in flight. I'll leave you in flight. Come on, guys. Let's see if we can get you, or actually I can get you on my shoulder. Come here. There we go. So you should be able to get two on your shoulders. Yes, yes. And luckily they got rid of the bug that if you tried to make a third one get on your shoulder, it disappeared. That was when we used to use right click to get them up there. So yay, no more killing parrots on accident. All right, so here we go. There are my parrots. So they teleported with me, which is great because a lot of multiplayer servers will use teleporting around with command blocks and stuff to get places, to get back home when you get your tamed parrots from somebody's jungle, and it's nice to be able to get them back. All right, where'd my other guy go? Is he on my shoulder? He is! Love it. They're so cute. All right, so those are parrots. I'm sure there are a few other things that I have not said about them, but they are basically just really cute and really cool, and you can make them sit now, and it's really fun. And Dinnerbone will flip them upside down, which is really fun. You can have a parrot looks like it's hanging from the ceiling or something. So lots of cool stuff. The 1.12 update is looking so pretty and colorful in our World of Color update. And I'm really excited to see the different things that they're doing with it. There are a few other things we haven't really gone over as much. Narrator, there is now a narrator, so you can turn on a text to speech option where you can have it read out commands, you can have it read out chat. There's different abilities. It can actually read out verbally to you so that you don't have to read. So that might even be an option for younger kids who are playing and maybe can't read what's being said. It'll read it out to them. And of course, you want to watch where you have that on, though, if which servers your kids are going to go on, if it's going to be reading things out loud from chat. So but obviously, that will be super helpful on family-friendly servers for kids who cannot read very well yet. We have our recipe book that we went over. We have, which I guess it's called knowledge book in some of the things. But like I said, here, let me show you. So there's one and there's one. So I can have it closed on this one and open on this one. Nope, it's actually going to just follow me around. Okay, somebody in a previous snapshot had said that it would actually was per crafting block that it would stay open or closed, but it looks like it's just my own personal setting that keeps it turned on or turned off when I go into crafting blocks. Let me see. Oh, the parrots imitate mob sounds. They will imitate mob sounds. So let's grab really quick. Let's grab a creeper. Parrot imitates creeper hiss. So I don't know the radius on this yet, but they're hissing like it's like the creeper does right before he explodes. So some people were saying that this would be great when you're caving and you're trying to keep, I mean, you can't really keep an ear out for creepers because they're silent until they're right about to blow up. But if there's a creeper nearby, and like I said, I don't see anywhere where it lists the radius just yet, they will start hissing and you're like, oh no, there's a creeper somewhere. And so, you know, that'll be very convenient. What's unfortunately inconvenient at the moment is that as soon as you hop, jumping around through a cave, your parrot gets off of your shoulder and then is just kind of there and flying around, and if you're trying to fight mobs, you might accidentally swing and kill your parrot. Come here, buddy. Whoop, there we go. So anyway, so that is one cool thing that they can do. We'll see how it gets changed, how it evolves as the snapshots go on, I guess, and what all we can do with that. I forgot a very important thing with the beds. So not only are they super cute colors now, we can jump on our beds. Look, it's bouncy, like a slime block. Boink, boink, boink. I can bounce on the bed, I can bounce on the bed. Anyway, that's a fun little addition. You can also, they made it so that neutral zombie pigmen will not give you the error that there are monsters nearby and you cannot sleep. So if you have a zombie pigman near coming out of your portal and it's near where you sleep at night, it won't actually keep you from using your bed. So that's really cool. All right, so I think that is just about all we have for the average player here. We do have a few other features. We now can save our hotbar. So if you have in creative mode, if you have a bunch of stuff that you normally would need to have all together, say if you're an admin on a server or even just running your own multiplayer world for your family or something of that sort, and you have a bunch of stuff that's like whenever somebody asks, hey, I need help with this, that you always need to have those things available. You now have custom loadouts that you can save and load up whenever you want. So if you look at my hotbar right now, I just have all this stuff that I've been kind of gathering as I was working with parrots and things. But I can hit Shift 1 and boom, there is all this stuff that I decided was something that I could use and keep in handy, keep on me while I'm setting up my map here. So I've got my grass for replacing, I've got command blocks for summoning things and teleporting and all sorts of things. I can hit Shift 3 to pull up some of the glazed terracotta stuff I was working with. So it's really nice to be able to do that. And where you can find that, so in your inventory now, we have saved toolbars right there. And you just hit Command and the number, and it will save whatever is in your toolbar at that moment, and you hit Shift and number to reload that again. So there are still some unsaved toolbar or open spaces for toolbars that I have not yet created. I put together a few of items that I was using a lot of on my map. So again, that's just for creative mode, but it's super convenient if you're having to swap back and forth with a lot of stuff on a regular basis. So I think that's just about it. We have our little rainbow that is always advancing right now with the different snapshots. We keep adding more colorful things to it, which is great. I'm super hoping again that we'll get some sort of clay or concrete stairs or slabs or something of that variety that we can add on to our little rainbow of items here. Because of course it's so nice to be able to build something with all the half slabs and the stairs involved as well. So that is it for today. Thank you guys so much for coming along, and let me know down in the comments if you have any questions, if you feel I didn't quite go over something very in depth this time around, and I will go over it more in my next snapshot video. We are possibly getting kind of close to 1.12. It sounded like they were trying to just wrap a few things up. There are a few things they have tweeted about that have not actually happened just quite yet in the snapshot. So most likely that is what they're working on debugging so that we can play with those again. One of them being that the glazed terracotta blocks would not be pulled by slime blocks. So I'm not sure if that includes the sticky pistons would not be able to pull them, or if it's just slime blocks attached to the sticky pistons. So I guess we will see when that feature does get added, which of those that will be. But that does mean that these glazed terracotta blocks probably won't be pulled and pushed around as well with pistons. So you're going to have some more slightly immovable blocks to work with. So again, let me know down in the comments, questions, comments. What is your favorite, most exciting thing that is being added to the game right now? And we'll chat with you later. Thanks, guys.